All right, let's get into it. We're talking about Kevin Federline's new tell-all book, a book that was supposed to be his big payday, his final word on Britney Spears, but as we're about to see, it really just ended up telling on itself. So this really is the big question, isn't it? How do you keep the money flowing when your ex is Britney Spears and that massive child support check finally stops coming? Because let's be real, this book wasn't just about his truth, it was about a financial lifeline that was about to get cut. Okay, so to really understand the timing of this whole thing, you have to look at the numbers. It all comes down to a ticking financial clock. Yeah, that's right. $60,000 a month. Just try to wrap your head around that for a second. This wasn't just some extra cash. This was reportedly the foundation of his entire life, month after month, year after year, all coming from Britney. And this timeline really lays it all out. That stream of income, we're talking about something like $5 million over the years, was coming to a hard stop. Late 2024 wasn't just the end of an era. For him, it was a financial cliff. So, what do you do when your primary income is about to disappear? Well, you come up with a plan. And his plan was this tell-all book, boldly titled, You Thought You Knew. But here's the kicker. The book itself wasn't even the real goal. It was just the first step in a much, much bigger play. I mean, this comparison says it all, doesn't it? Britney gets a reported $15 million advance for her memoir. And what does K-Fed get? 60 grand. That's not even 1 month of what he was getting in child support. It's just a tiny fraction. Really shows you the difference in their public value, right? See, that's why the $60,000 didn't matter so much to him. The book wasn't the product, it was the advertisement. The real strategy was hanging on to 100% of the TV and film rights. He was using the book as bait to try and land a huge deal with someone like Netflix or Hulu to basically turn their private life into his new long-term income. And how do you make sure that bait gets a bite? You load it with the most sensational, the most damaging claims you can think of. I mean, look at these. These weren't just casual anecdotes. They feel like strategically placed bombs designed to create maximum drama and buzz for a potential show. Well, his plan definitely got people talking, just not in the way he probably hoped. It backfired, and it backfired hard, because Britney and, of course, the public, they weren't having any of it. And Britney herself came out swinging. She called it what it was, profiting off her pain. She used the word gaslighting and pointed out that this whole thing felt like an attempt to cash in on her struggles. It's a really powerful statement. This is really where the whole thing just fell apart for him. The public picked up on this one central theme almost immediately, the blatant, just unbelievable double standards in his own story. So, for example, a huge part of his book is him criticizing Britney for her alleged drug use. He really frames himself as this concerned father who had to step in and get full custody to protect the kids. But then, and you really can't make this up, in the very same book, he admits to his own heavy partying. He talks about using kush, mushrooms, even cocaine, and he details being gone for 5 months to do a reality TV show in Australia. It just completely demolishes his own argument. The hypocrisy is just staggering. Okay, so with all this backlash in a book that basically torpedoed its own credibility, did the big financial gamble pay off? Not even close. Commercially, the book was a complete flop. I mean, despite all the press he did, it failed to even crack the top 500 bestsellers on Amazon. It just tanked. And the public's reaction was swift and brutal. People online just went after him, calling him an opportunist, a scumbag, basically saying he was still trying to ride Britney's coattails. And then fans did something amazing. They organized, boycotted his book, and went out and bought Britney's memoir instead. Talk about sending a message. So, what does this all mean? Well, the failure of this book says a lot more than just don't write a bad book. It really signals a huge shift in the culture. Basically, the market for Britney bashing is closed, for good. That whole industry that thrived in the 2000s by profiting off her pain, it's just gone. People have seen what she went through, especially with the hashtag Free Britney movement, and they're just not willing to participate in tearing her down anymore. At the end of the day, his book was a massive miscalculation. He bet that people still wanted to see Britney as the villain, and he couldn't have been more wrong. The book's failure sends one crystal clear message. In this post-conservatorship world, the world is Team Britney.